How's it going, everyone? Today we've got another 9.3 quick fix video, and we're going to be replacing the vacuum line I have here in my hand, my 2003 Saab 9.3 with a 2-liter turbocharged engine. As our cars continue to age, more and more things are likely to break, especially these old brittle vacuum lines. Now, of course, if you wanted to, and people have, you could upgrade all your vacuum lines to just silicone hoses or rubber lines or something like that. That's kind of what I'm doing on the 900. My good friend Lucas, Saving Saabs, had a spare one of these vacuum lines and actually asked to buy it from him because about once a year for the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even a couple times a year, this check valve right here, this vacuum line is broken and it would just pop off just like that, and the car would idle, run like crap, and I'd know exactly what it was every time it happened. And so it was just kind of one of those things. Every now and then I have to go in there and kind of pop it back on like that, and the vacuum would hold it on for another few months. But I put it off long enough fixing it, so I figure doing this little quick fix video here showing you guys how to replace this line might be worth it. So as you can see, this is a pretty decent sized line with a lot of different turns and bends and things like that. So this end of the line is actually connecting up here. It's this line right here. Part of it goes into the vacuum pump right here, so we'll need to disconnect it from that. And then the other end of it, you might be able to see, connects right there, right next to where that hose clamp is. So it runs under there from the intake manifold all around and back up to the vacuum pump. So this might be a little bit of tight operation, but let's go ahead, get started. The way that these vacuum lines work and these quick connects work is you can see there's a little knob or button on top here almost that you got to press. And when you press that, this white portion expands out, and that's how you can pull the piece off. So you got to find the little button on each of these, press it down, and then in theory it should slide right off, and those are on both ends of this line. If you do have a 2003, this secondary air line can be disconnected from this end over here, so I went ahead and did that. However, now all this stuff up front here is in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and I guess just kind of move that out of the way like that. Should hopefully give me a little bit better access. I've also tried to rotate the line as much as I can because the way it's set up, it's a very poor design. The button you need to push is like positioned like that, pretty much on the underside of it, and the hardest place to possibly reach. Lesson learned the hard way here. When getting this one off, when you can get a finger on the button, don't just try to pull strictly on the line, pry against something. So I had my screwdriver like this, gently of course, and then when I bent it, it was putting pressure against the intake manifold right here, and it just pushed it straight off. So I was taking the wrong approach that whole time, and this thing finally popped off. What a freaking pain though. All right, let's do the easy side now. So with the way this is designed, the ionization module appears to be in the way, preventing me from pulling this off the rest of the way. So I'm gonna have to take the ionization module off. It's two 10 millimeters, one on each side, so it's super easy to take off. But again, I don't know what's up with the design on this vacuum line. Not easy to replace. Now, you can finally pop that off. Get this last piece out. It's probably gonna be easiest to pull it up, or it might have to come down actually because of the check valve. It's gonna be too thick. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Lastly, the O2 sensor, the other end of it fell down here somewhere. And coming back around front, I have to reconnect a couple small things as well. That is how you replace the vacuum line that goes from your vacuum pump all the way down to your intake manifold. Probably one of the more difficult and tedious lines to replace, mostly because of the intake manifold side. And you want to make sure you route it properly. The first time I routed this through, I routed it on the outside of this power steering line, and the vacuum line was not long enough to reach the intake manifold where it needed to. So make sure you route it on the inside. I recommend there's just enough room to squeeze it through between this area right here. If you don't have secondary air injection, obviously you'll have a lot more room to work over here. But for you 03 guys, there is just enough room to do it right there. That's it for today though. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have any other video suggestions for this series, let me know. And I'll see you all next time.
Take it easy.